Hao, Pengyaman. Welcome back to Jet Li's Rise to Honor. Just in time for a flashback.
She's not that girl in pigtails anymore.
佢問我同佢搬齊之後，冇人同我打交啦。
哦啊！如果我俾人蝦，邊個保護我啊？
唔使驚，盛世流流長，我哋一定會再見嘅。
好兄弟。
Kid, check this out. Hey, she's gotta be here somewhere.
Sounds like they got here first. You go around to the party and find Michelle. I'll check inside.
Okay.
Uh-huh. No problem. I'll take care of it. We have this place covered inside and out. We even have guys dressed as security guards. Don't worry, boss. We'll find her and take care of this kid Yoon also.
I hope you're ready for mandatory stealth sequences. It's not too exciting of a stealth setup. I mean, if you go on the flashlight beams, then you get spotted, and it's an instant game over. That's it. You can either slap people on the back of the head, or you can grab them to do a little weird neck chop. Either way. This area consists of a couple of waves of taking out dudes that are just patrolling around before we can actually go upstairs and try and find Michelle. It could be worse. That's pretty much the defense I got for it. We will be doing more stealth segments in the game, and they only get more irritating, I suppose I'd say. It's very basic stealth. The guys have very obvious patterns. They only repeat them whenever they walk back and forth. It never gets extremely fancy. Which is fair. I mean, this game isn't really a stealth game. You should probably stick to your strengths, right? Every once in a while you'll encounter two guards together. You'll have to use a projectile on one of them and then karate chop the other one.
It's Frankie's birthday next week. He wants that Rise to Honor game.
Oh yeah, I saw the commercial for that one. It looks really good.
Susie won't get it for him unless he gets an A on his biology final.
Buy it anyway. Frankie's a smart kid.
Susie would kill me.
What a wimp.
If you do just go up and hit one of them, the other one will alert, so...
Hey! Oh.
You know, it's a little bit of nuance in the game. That's something. And of course, this guy has a broken flashlight. It'll always break at the same interval.
Damn flashlight!
It is worth noting that when the flashlight's beam is off, he can't see anything in front of his face. Oh yeah, sometimes guards will have like a little moment of, huh? And look behind them. You won't actually know this unless you observe their patterns. Which can be really irritating later, but, you know, whatever. Up that escalator is our ultimate destination, but obviously we can't get there quite yet with the guy in the way.
So, who is this girl anyway?
Supposed to be the daughter of some big boss back in Hong Kong.
What does Billy want with her?
Hey, I'm just following orders. I don't ask questions.
Yeah, we don't really know who William is yet, but
Where
the game's manual does go a little bit more into detail. William Soon is the leader of the I don't really think we're the Triad here, but the Hong Kong operations in San Francisco. He's kind of a jerk. We'll run into him later. Also, I refuse to call him Billy because I think it's funnier to call him William. I always forget if this guy turns around. He doesn't. It's not so punishing at this point of the stealth segments. I think there's 3 of them total in the game, and they get more and more irritating with people who just suddenly turn around before you'd think about it. The last one is pretty much the worst. It's not one of those things where they don't really give you the time to react to it, but they don't, unless you observe it for one or two cycles, you won't really know what they do.
Dress up in these stupid uniforms.
Just relax.
I mean, this hardly even fits me.
Don't worry about the uniform. Worry about finding these two. Hey!
This is another group of folks that I assume turned around, but they actually don't. It's just another one where you gotta be careful with which guy you decide to hit with the trash can so the other one doesn't inadvertently shine his flashlight on you. I mean, I guess he would do it intentionally, but since they look to see which guy went down, then that would be mildly inadvertent? Nah.
Who the...
So this guard is our final obstacle, and he has a faulty flashlight. So the trick is, when he's sitting there beating it on his chest, you just have to go up and punch him in the face. You know, as you do.
Damn batteries!
Master of Stealth. So now Michelle's going to be fighting off these guys, but they will gradually do damage to her, so we have to catch up to her before her health bar in the upper right depletes. Which means we've got to beat a bunch of dudes up. You know, as you do. I did recently find out another game mechanic, which is after you do a 5-hit combo, if you hold down the attack button, or the attack stick, you kind of do a little taunt, and that will allow you to build up your adrenaline a little bit. I've done it by accident here and there, but I didn't know it was actually, you know, mechanic. So, that's neat. I'm learning things. These guys are all real jerks. Anytime you find somebody that blocks a few of your adrenaline moves, it's the worst thing in the world, because then not only do you kind of miss out on some of the adrenaline you need to start countering moves, but well, you can't really get it back, and then you're stuck blocking with a bunch of dudes that just keep kicking you in the face repeatedly. I have a lot more trouble with this group of enemies than I probably should. And so here we have the start of an awkward chase sequence, because why not?
Michelle!
So you have 3 laps of chasing Michelle around the upper level of the Metreon here. She'll take a slightly different route each time. Sometimes they'll take shortcuts to kind of show you where they are. Other times, whatever. It's not great. If you do make it through 3 laps and you haven't caught her, then the game is going to instant game over as more enemies show up and start attacking her, and apparently you can't beat up the same group of enemies twice. That's just against the law. So I'm going to cut this one a little short by taking a shortcut that I guess I shouldn't know about yet.
Kit? Is that you? What are you doing here?
I'll tell you later. Let's get Chi.
Chi's here?
He's looking for you.
I am Song Long.
So here's a neat little mechanic that only pops up pretty much at this point, and the next fight is collaborative attacks. If you grab Michelle, you can use her to attack enemies, and you can see while she's grabbed, you slowly build up adrenaline, but you also lose your grab meter.
Attack!
Personally, I'd recommend grabbing her whenever possible, because not only does it make the enemies dumb in their attacks, but it also prevents her from getting her face kicked in. Because part of what I mean when I say enemies turn dumb is they start attacking slower, but they don't focus on Michelle, they focus on you. And Kit Yoon has more life than Michelle does. Or at least he's better at dodging.
I am Song Long.
As you may have noticed, doing an adrenaline attack when you are holding Michelle does a, what do you call it, not a roundhouse kick, but a flying round? I don't know what you call it. Sung Lung is not a very dangerous opponent, especially when you have Michelle to help out. He's there.
Hey, there you are. They call your name at the ceremony, so I accepted for you.
Thanks, Chi.
The food was great. They must really like
We
you.
have to get out of here.
Yeah, before any goons get here. Did Kid tell you? We were almost killed.
We need somewhere safe.
If I know a place, no one will find us.
I knew he'd end up dead, living that kind of life.
But he cared very deeply for you.
And I thought you would be smarter than to follow in that path, especially after your father's death.
His dying wish was for me to give this to you.
Michelle, 當你睇到呢封信嘅時候，我哋已經陰陽相隔。但我想你知道，直到我臨死嗰一刻，我都想為我嘅所作所為作出補償。希望有一日你會原諒我。你係我一生之中一感到值得驕傲嘅成就。
What is all this? What was he trying to do?
Let's get this guy!
So this fight is another opportunity for collaborative attacks, the last one in the game, and it's a bit more important here because Michelle is a bit more likely to get her face smashed in, which is unfortunate. You do have to watch out for the guys in the big puffy hoodies because they're grabbers. They'll grab Michelle and do a fair bit of damage. They'll grab you and just kind of punch you in the stomach a couple times. They do go down very easily to your grab counter. So there's that, I guess. Michelle doesn't know how to counter pretty much anything, though, so... If you can, get the enemies to focus on you, but that's not always guaranteed. And so we've got yet another new enemy. Guys with shock batons are big jerks. If they hit you with the shock baton, it drains your block gauge and your adrenaline gauge, and then it leaves you stunned for when they come and kick you in the face after you're stunned. It's interesting. It gives you another kind of enemy to look out for, so I'm not saying it's all bad. They're just jerks. But then again, I guess that applies to most of the enemies in this game, so, you know. I think they're fine. Mostly.
Block this. My turn. Come on. He's mine. Take this. My turn.
These guys, on the other hand, I really don't like. They're very mobile, they counter pretty much everything. The only way you can hit them, well, not the only way, but you have to wait until they jump kick at you, and then they get themselves all tuckered out. And when they're sitting there panting is when you have a chance to hit them. The problem is they'll roll into you and then do these little weird upwards helicopter kicks, and they're irritating as hell. So unless you have enough life to kind of tank out one or two of them, this will happen. But, you know, these things happen. So you just have to kind of wait for them to do their jump kick and then sit there all tuckered out and then punch them in the face. You know, just like real life. I mean, they really don't have much life once you get a chance to hit them. It's just, you know. I guess maybe they need more. Maybe they need a more robust diet. They get tired out so quickly. So I'm using this fight as kind of an experiment to see how many hits you can get before the next one attacks you. Turns out the answer is about 4. If you go for 5, you're getting greedy and you'll probably get shocked. And sometimes you just drop the block button too quickly and you get a little wake me up.
You've never seen moves like these.
No. I've never seen a guy that I have to counter mid-blow so I can tire him out. That's probably been a while since you saw these guys, so it's not a terrible thing to have a, you know, quick refresher on her, or on them. Yeah.
My turn. Take this. He's mine. Come on. Block this. My turn. Block this. My turn. Take this. Mine. I'll get him. Block this. My turn. I'll get him. This. Take this.
Of course, then you get to deal with 3 of them at once, but it's not that different from dealing with 1. You just have to be a little more, you know, judicious in your counters. Or a little more willing to use them, I should say.
Yeah, I'll get him. Come on. Take this.
I'm okay. Get him! Kid! Catch! There's more coming on the other side. I'll take care of them.
I'm not exactly sure how she managed to kick the guns up in the air like that, but color me impressed. The game's trying to teach you about the dual targeting system here, but it's not great. Basically the idea is, you know, with Kit having two guns, he should be able to point at two people at once. And it kinda works. You'll see me actually be able to do it here and there, but it's unreliable, I'd say. It's a neat concept, though. The main problem I'd have with the dual targeting thing is that it has your DPS on various enemies, so you can kind of focus down guys with firearms very quickly, or you can stun lock two guys at once, I guess.
Hey, watch it!
But that'll do it for this section of gameplay, so I'm going to cut out here, and please join me next time.
Your little friend's appetite led us right to you.
I'm sorry.
You hurt him and you're dead.
Now where did such a beautiful young thing learn to be such a hard ass?
Growing up around scum like you.
I have a friend in Hong Kong who will be very interested in these.
Quan.
Apparently, he's not too happy with you, kid. Get them out of here.